run,
I don't
right?
know that he was a critic of the military. He was more a critic of how the military was being used by the government. So
Has that changed?
No.
Free Talk Live.
Listening to WIBC FM. Hello, Mark.
Hey, how you guys doing tonight?
Hey, what's on your mind tonight, Mark?
Well, I got a question. How do you know who Smedley Butler was?
How do I know?
Yeah,
I'm a Quaker.
I heard you mention his. Okay, well, he was a Marine, you know.
Yes,
That's right. Yeah.
He was the most decorated, well, I don't know what terminology to use, Marine in U.S. history, but most decorated military member in U.S. history.
He wrote a book or
yeah.
a pamphlet or whatever called "War is a Racket."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah, he had 2 Medals of Honor too, I believe.
He would have had 3 if at the time they allowed officers to get Medals of Honor. At that moment in time, they only allowed enlisted men.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, I was just going to say I know I spent 7 years in the Marine Corps, and the big thing about the facial hair was the gas mask. It won't seal if you've got a beard.
Right.
And they won't either. I mean, I know that for a fact. I saw guys that had real heavy beards in there, and they, when we got gas, they, you know, if they didn't shave twice a day, they were going to get gas.
Damn.
Even with their mask on.
Yeah, I wonder. So many military guys. I see a picture here from 2002. Some soldier out in Afghanistan, and he's got a full beard. I guess he's trying to blend in. Probably they're not dealing with a lot of gas out in Afghanistan, is just my guess. So he looks fine.
It's a thing with Afghani men too. They all have beards, so it is just kind of to blend in and to, you know, kind of do some of their customs, I guess. You know.
Yeah.
Mark, anything else you want to share tonight?
No, that's it.
Thanks for calling. I appreciate hearing from you. That's Mark in Indy.
Guys.
Yep, the toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE. That's 855-450-3733. So this guy
I don't know if they still do it, but the Marine Corps, every night in boot camp, they had to say goodnight to Smedley Butler.
That's interesting, considering that Smedley Butler became a critic of the military toward the end of his run.
I don't know that he was a critic of the military. He was more critic of how the military was being used by the government. So
has that changed?
No.
Then, I mean, that technically makes him a critic of the military, right?
I guess. I think that the people who are in the military have a distinction in their mind, right? They say, I sign up to protect the people of the United States. And then the government does with me as they will. I've signed a check to give my life over.
Right, but they don't really protect the people of the United States. They're protecting the government. They're protecting the gang, the criminal gang known as the United States government.
They work for liars and thieves,
right?
No doubt. And
like, who are they going to... If there actually was an invasion, and there's no real, I don't think, any legitimate concern that there would be, because the United States tends to be pretty well armed. But if there actually was an invasion, would the military be tasked with protecting the politicians and the landmarks and the military bases over your neighborhood?
I suspect they'd roll a tank right over my house if it was they felt that it was militarily necessary.
Yeah, I think you might be right about that.
So no, I wouldn't think that they're trying to protect my house.
Yeah, I don't believe the claims that they're there for our protection. I understand that's what they want you to think, but they're the government. The government people tell you lies all the time.
Let's not forget that the Supreme Court has ruled that the government has no obligation to protect you.
That's true.
So,
and that includes the military.
It taking on the role of protector, monopoly protector.
You can hire somebody else to protect you. You can hire, bodyguards.
You still have to pay for the military, whether you think that it's an efficient form of protection or not. So it has many of the features of a monopoly, if not entirely. You can go get what do they call a ghost gunner, and you can carve M16s out of aluminum in your basement and have enough M16s lined up that you could put a militia together inside of a couple of months, I'm sure.
Those ghost gunners are pretty badass.
If that's what you want to do. However, if you don't pay your income tax while you're doing that, you're liable to go to jail because, well, at least some point in the future. It won't be right away. It takes them a little while to get around to it. But at some point or another, if you refuse to pay the income tax, you'll go.
Free Talk Live. Listen live 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern or grab the podcast. It's all at freetalklive.com.